Welcome to Kindness and Light. My name is Lisa, and today we'll be talking about Robert the Doll. He is the third part of our series on haunted dolls. Now, Robert the Doll is a little boy doll who sits in a chair dressed in a little sailor suit that a man named Robert or Eugene Robert Otto had obtained. Now, several different stories about Robert and how Eugene got this doll. And one was his grandpa had given it to him for a birthday present that he, as grandpa, went to Germany and bought it off, and brought it home to him. The other one was how a young girl, a servant girl, had given it to him as a curse and for all of his wrongdoings that he did as a child. Now, Eugene Robert Otto came from this rich, how-to-do family. They had money and they had servants and they had this and they had that. So he was kind of snooty and got his way of whatever. But he was a rich and eccentric artist. Now, when Eugene Robert went away to college, he study art because he was an artist. His parents kept on saying that they kept on hearing footsteps going up and down the attic stairs, and giggling and laughing as some mischievous child was in their house. After Robert got back home, he had been married to he'd gotten married, and his wife just absolutely hated that doll. She's like, no way, I don't want it downstairs. Put it back up in the attic where your parents had it. So after Eugene's parents passed away, Robert put the doll back upstairs into the attic because to appease his wife, of course, okay, fine. I'll put it back in the attic. So he took it upstairs and put it in the attic, and along with the doll, the doll and his chair, and he set him in his chair and put him in the attic. Well, they kept on hearing footsteps, like his parents. Eugene's parents kept on hearing footsteps. So Eugene and his wife kept on hearing footsteps going up and down the hall and up and down the stairwell and in the attic and everything else. So what he did was kept on checking, thinking maybe it was something else, but it was clearly a little child's footsteps. He'd also see, and the neighborhood children would also see Robert sitting by the window. And he'd go and check, and Robert wasn't near the window, but everybody, they seen him sitting by the window. So after Eugene had passed away, his wife passed away 2 years later, and she had kept that doll in the attic. So when the house was sold, a little girl was part of the family that bought the home, and she had found Robert in the attic and brought him back downstairs. And soon after that, the footsteps began again, and the giggling and laughing and whisperings all started back up. And then one night, Robert turned bad and said to the little girl that he was going to hurt her. So she told her parents, of course, and her parents all of a sudden, like, no way, we're not going to have this thing in the house with you. Let's lock it back upstairs in the attic. I wouldn't have it in the house at all, but obviously it belonged in that house. So they locked it up in a trunk upstairs and tried to forget about it. Well, after that, the next 20 years, people came and gone and bought the house and left it, and then bought, somebody else had come in and buy the house and have the same experiences and then left it. And then, 20 years later, Robert ended up in a museum in Key West, Florida. Now, that's where he remains in Key West, Florida, between this museum and the post office, which is kind of odd. There's like a old post office there that they have, like a museum there. So he resides there, but you have to be very, 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 very respectful of Robert, like Annabelle and like all dolls that are supposedly haunted. You have to pay respect, and you have to say, "May I please have my picture taken with you?" if you want a picture taken with him. You have to be respectful. You can't tease him. You can't do this, because he will put a curse on you if you don't be respectful. He will make very, 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 very bad situations come into your life, and you definitely don't want that. So be respectful the next time if you ever get to see him in person. Make sure you're respectful. When I did this video, I asked him, his spirit, if I could do this video about him and post a picture about him. So I am being respectful, hopefully. May you shine some kindness on others. May you shine your beacon of light on others and keep protecting. And if you ever get the chance to see Robert, make sure you're respectful and ask him before you take pictures of him. Peace.